I just wanted to come here just for 1 second. I'm going to step down so it creates an effect. I really love my job. And before I tell you what I've been doing for the last 4 years, I'll tell you how I got to that in the first place. So this is me 4.5 years ago. I had just failed to pass the highest level of the bar exam. You need that in order to be the most senior member of the Bar Association, the sworn attorney in Estonia. I was working 16-hour days in a top law firm, in one of the biggest in the region. I was one of the top 3 billers for 5 years in a row. I was going absolutely nowhere, okay? Some people would say that was a good time to be at that firm, but I really felt, although they were offering a partnership track, I still felt that was not the way to go. So I was actually about to quit law. I had also met a girl in Shanghai, China, wonderful woman. We were dating, we were in love. So I was thinking, what do I do? Do I stay in my firm? I was earning a good salary for a young Estonian. Do I move to China, or what the hell am I going to do with my life? So all of a sudden there comes PwC, some strange audit firm, and says, we want to establish a law firm in Estonia, and we want to interview you to be that partner. To be the guy who starts up the law firm in Estonia. So I said, I'm sorry guys, I work at a top tier law firm. I'm a senior associate, I'm doing pretty good, although I hated my life. I don't think an audit firm is really for me. So I went on and I was flying back and forth to Shanghai to see my girlfriend. And she kind of said, you know, why don't you come in and work for my father's firm? It's all going to be really nice. We're going to have a great life. You know, you don't like Estonia anyway. So I was actually considering moving. And so this is a really important photo. This is the first time ever I've done a pros and cons of what the hell am I going to do with my life, okay? So this is the single most important paper in my life. I still have that in my drawer. So, but in order to have even a possibility to think about establishing a law firm for PwC in Estonia, I had to pass the bar exam. So, again, what I had to do was, in order to have that, after going absolutely crazy, and I don't know, I'm sure all of you have studied like 14 hours a day, but that's not like working 14 hours a day. After having gone completely crazy, I finally got back to the city, I passed the exam with flying colors, and I had that choice. So PwC came knocking again, said, Carl, we really want to talk to you. I said, why? Why would you want to talk to me? I mean, they were talking to senior partners and big firms and other partners in local law firms who they wanted on board. And so I started to look up what PwC is doing in the world, and I saw, uh-oh, okay, I'm lucky that they were talking to me again, and I was being a little princess by pushing them back. That was actually a wonderful opportunity. So I came up with a business plan, presented them with a business plan, and I met a couple more partners, and it seemed like that was a good way to go. So they said, all right, come and work for us then. So I said, no, thank you. I already have a job. I want to be partner. I said, Carl, you can't be partner. We don't do that. So I said, well, okay. If you don't do that, I don't want it. I already have a job. So I said, no, but we want you. I said, well, but then you're going to have to give me a share. I said, well, no, we're PwC. We don't do that. I said, okay, well, then you don't want me. I'm not the right guy for the job. So finally they came back and said, okay, we're going to give you a big percentage of the actual income of the share of the company in Estonia, but you're going to have to put your own money in. I didn't have any money. So where was I going to get that money? So it was actually, it's not a big secret. It was 50,000 euros that I had to put in. But I forgot to tell you, I was 26 years old at the time, right? So a 26-year-old in Estonia, unless you inherit it or you're lucky or you win the lottery, you don't have 50,000 laying at a bank account. So I took out a loan from a friend. that was bye-bye to Shanghai, China, obviously. She met the love of her life a month after. So I took out a loan, we signed an agreement, and right when we're at that stage when we're going to sign the agreement, the senior partner who recruited me says, "Carl, there's something wrong here. I think you wrote your birth date wrong." I said, "No, I just turned 27 like a month ago." I said, "Well, if you could sell yourself to us the way you did, we're pretty confident you're going to be able to sell yourself to clients as well." So that was my first kind of, that was the beginning. So this is what my ex-colleagues gave me when I left the firm. I think that's a really good photo. Don't let anyone ever make you feel like you don't deserve what you want. It's a good kind of motto. Now, this is the first day at work at PwC. I had a lot more hair then. And the next step was, this is a kind of an illustration of Estonia. So, okay, I've taken out a loan. I've started a business now at 27 years old in Estonia. Nobody knows what Estonia is. If you do, great. If I talk to people in the States or in China, they think Estonia is like a cream or maybe a condition, Nobody knows what it is. So it's a small, remote, desolate place. What the hell are you going to do to start up a law firm in Estonia? And as you know, it is the second oldest profession in the world. So how do you innovate that? What do you do? You innovate and disrupt. So the first week, that's me on the cover of the Estonian version of Financial Times. It was a big splash. It says, "Auditor going to the legal market." Well, it was not the auditor. It was me, and it was a law firm. But the first thing you figure out, this is last year from our Christmas party in our talent office. The first thing you kind of try and figure out is what are your unique selling points? What do you want to do? How is PwC different? And actually, it's pretty simple. So we're the largest law firm by geographical coverage in the world. We're the only global law firm in Estonia, so we don't have DLA and we don't have these firms in the Baltics. And we're the only ones whose lawyers take it beyond legal. So having worked with auditors and financial consultants and tax consultants for 4 years has really created a much wider understanding of business. And once the clients understand that, that's where kind of magic happens. So there's only 4 really strategic, important points in your USPs when you do start a law firm. And as you might know, that there are a lot of startups in Estonia right now, so it's a big technology market. So I always took the law firm in Estonia as my startup. And the office for the first year looked much more like an advertising agency or like a creative hub than a normal law firm, the back office, obviously. So develop the correct strategy based on the USPs. First step, pretty easy, right? Get a full buy-in from all the partners. So if you start with one partner, or for me it was PwC partners, I would have to make sure that they believe in what we do, and they understand what we do, and they support what we do. This photo, by the way, is taken last year from a dinner that we hosted for the Prime Minister with some of our top clients. It was pretty cool. Recruit the first superstar, so that's the first office. Not really glamorous, not very nice. He's a very talented lawyer. And so as a 27-year-old, I thought, okay, would you want, as a client, would you want the doctor who gives you, open heart surgery, would you want the doctor to be fresh out of med school, or would you want it to be a guy who's done it for the last 15 years? So obviously it's the guy who's done it for 15 years. So I recruited the first people who had 10 or 15 years more experience than I did in that market. Then for me, leveraging PwC's existing relationships, it's also pretty obvious. So if we're in that business that we offer our clients more than just a traditional law firm would, then I would have to go out and leverage these relationships with my partners at PwC. This picture is from a New Year's party last year as well. And well, most importantly, and this is kind of obvious, follow the money trail. So I started doing law firm roadshows not to other law firms in other countries as independent law firms would, but actually to PwC offices where the money comes from to Estonia. So for example, foreign direct investment into Estonia would be from Sweden and Finland. So I would follow the money. In Latvia, we have a lot of investments from Russia, for example. I would go to Russia. In Lithuania, in Poland, so I would go to Poland. It's really quite easy. And basically kind of capturing what I meant before, superior customer service, I think this is the baseline for law firms these days. With the right growth strategy, what I just tried to talk about, and the right staff to match, so these are the superstars, and enabled by our previous relationships, because PwC had been there for 20 years. And this is where we are today. So we are a premium law firm. By revenue, we've hit top 10. In the Baltics, we do about $3 million in revenue, which is not a lot, but it gives us a top 10 in Estonia, so it's pretty good. And we're in the law firm, we're just over 40 something staff right now. So I think officially we got to be the fastest growing law firm in Estonian history ever. So I'm quite proud of that. And this is from our summer days party last year. So ending with a kind of a joke, everything suddenly becomes easy when you know the future. That's it. Thank you very much.